I'm Vic Myers. Welcome to the Resistance. Project 2025 is almost halfway complete, folks, and most people don't even know it. That's why we need to talk about it again. Now, if you go to the Project 2025 tracker at project2025.observer, you can see for yourself. They're already at 47% completion. If you've watched very many of my videos, you've heard me say more than once that what we're seeing isn't an accident, it's a plan. All of the radical actions of this administration, National Guard deployments, federal agencies dismantled, the Gestapo snatching people off the street, and the so-called Big Beautiful Bill, what I call the Trump tax, and the government shutdown even. This is the Project 2025 plan in motion. And a lot of people are under the misconception that Project 2025 was written just a couple of years ago, that Donald Trump, of all people, is the leader of it. Trump is obviously not the leader of Project 2025. I mean, the guy can barely read. The only evidence out there to suggest that he can write is a scribble of a signature and a cringeworthy birthday card. Nah, he's not the leader of Project 25. He's just a useful idiot. That's why the oligarchs love him. Because he doesn't have to understand their plan, he just has to sign it. The name most commonly associated with Project 2025 is Russell Vought. But he's only 49 years old, and Project 2025 was conceived long before he was. He's just the guy who got the byline when the oligarchs decided it was time to make their treasonous plan public. Project 2025 itself comes straight out of the Heritage Foundation and the Federalist Society, the same network of institutions that have been shaping American politics for decades. The Heritage Foundation was officially started in 1973. From Nixon on, every administration, Republican or Democrat, has been shaped by it, either by adopting its policies or battling against them. I mean, Reagan's most significant contribution to society before becoming president was acting in a show about a man and his chimpanzee. His policies were all given to him by Heritage. Welfare reform in the 90s, Heritage. The individual mandate in the Affordable Care Act, that was a Heritage Foundation policy first written as their conservative alternative to single-payer health care. The Democrats adapted it thinking, hey, maybe it'll get us some bipartisan support. It didn't. But then it was struck down by Federalist Society judges with the help of Heritage amicus briefs. An amicus brief is when outside groups file legal arguments to try and sway the court's decision. The Federalist Society was founded in 1982. It grew out of the same network as Heritage, the same donors, the same allies, the same leaders. Together, they were instrumental in putting in place judges from district courts all the way to the Supreme Court, the very people needed to uphold the power structure behind 2025. All you have to do to see this effect is compare court behaviors toward Biden versus Trump. When Biden used emergency powers to provide student debt relief, the court said that he was exceeding congressional intent. When Trump spent money that Congress explicitly denied, for instance, the border wall, the courts deferred to presidential authority or just plain refused to stop him. When Biden used his regulatory authority given by Congress to address climate change, the court blocked him. When Trump dismantled congressionally mandated agencies, the court deferred. These are just two of many examples. So we have decades-old organizations developing and working on a plan. We have a useful idiot. And we have one arm dictating policy while another controls the courts. And that's how decades of planning became today's reality. A government run by oligarchs, enforced by judges, and fronted by a showman. That's where we're at today. And the bad news is that with Project 2025 being almost 50% complete already, it remains a significant and existential threat to American democracy. This is something that we cannot forget. It's something that we must keep at the forefront of American discourse and resistance. But here's the good news. The foundations of Project 2025 began well over 50 years ago. It was designed by a group of people living in an age of analog media. They had no concept of the technology we have today, the communication resources we have today, or our ability to connect with each other and form communities that we do now. This playbook was written for a world that no longer exists. Ours is a world of instant communication, grassroots organizing, and a people who can out-connect, out-share, and out-organize them. That's why we still have hope. That's why Project 2025 can be defeated. Because democracy isn't just a system. It's us. It's our voices, our votes, our communities, our refusal to give up. They built their blueprint in secret, and we'll defeat it in the open, together. So share this, talk about it, organize, because silence is their weapon, and ours is our voice. Thanks for listening. Good day.